What is up, what's going on? Noobsmasters here with you. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about team communication. Now, I just recently had a casual match where I decided to play Tachanka, and it went all nice for me the first round, but as soon as we had to start defending, it went sideways, and let me show you just what went sideways. Now, uh, basic information, we are already 13 seconds into round 3. We have lost our attacking round, even though I made some kills. The objective is in CEO Lounge. I have already taken my armor. I have not deployed my barbed wire because I like to deploy barbed wire dynamically, as I know where the enemies are approaching. So let's check what's going on. First of all, I set up my LMG to defend this area, because this is going to be the common spot for attackers to enter, because they can enter here relatively unchallenged, because they have 2 entry points, sometimes even 3 if somebody decides to go from the skylight into the back lobby. So they are going to be in an advantageous position. Having an LMG set up over here will allow me to negate that advantage by having more firepower. And by using my reflexes, I can react quickly to people shoulder peeking me, so I can take a shot before they re-peek back at me. Now, it is obvious that I have heard absolutely 0 footsteps in the territory that I need to cover with my LMG, so I decided to dismount from the LMG, disassemble it, and move into a position where I could hear footsteps so that I could prepare.
Time to push forward.
Shield coming in, stairs. And this is that important moment where I hear the shield on stairs, I immediately call it in, I ping it out, and I start setting up my defenses, even though it's very loud, it's kind of obnoxious, and the shield ultimately hears me. He understands what's going on. He understands that there's a Tachanka setup to his right. But let's continue playing and let's see what happens. And what happens is that I call it in. There is 0 attention to the callout that I just gave, and I'm aware that if there is a shield, there could be a rifler behind him. So I'm already at a stress situation. I most probably am gonna go 1 against 2, and they are going to have not only numbers and guns advantage, because they're coming from that point, but also it could be something that could screw up my whole setup with the LMG. Dealing with LMG against the shield alone is not that problematic, but dealing with the shield rifler combo is a much bigger problem. So I immediately call out if I have a shield, because I don't know what's gonna happen. Most probably there's a rifler. I want somebody's help, but as you can see, there are no silhouettes behind this wall, which means that 0 teammates have attended to my callout. And here's what happens. Shield coming in on stairs. Shield and sledge. And what ultimately happens is the worst that I have predicted. Shield actually had a rifler, and that rifler happened to have an HE grenade, so being a good shield rifler combo, the shield didn't engage the enemy and just pinged my location. So that sledge could ultimately throw a grenade, lose a couple of health points, but also get rid of me with the whole setup in an easy manner. I did manage to scrape the shield a little bit and get a couple of health points from Sledge. But ultimately, nobody has attended here, only Pulse, you have seen, Pulse has attended it, but nobody helped me out. There's a breachable barricade over here, there's now a hole over there. Nobody helps me out, and so I pose a question. What is going on? You are playing a team-based game, and afterwards you're gonna see there's gonna be a very nice, interesting comment, as people are gonna call me salty, and there will be a question that completely paralyzed me and just made me quit the game. It's a casual game, there's not much consequence. I didn't want to play with them after what they asked me. Fucking hell! Are you coming or not? Two guys! Sledge actually gets killed. I wonder why. Maybe it's because I distracted both of them and Pulse finally realized that their backs were turned to him, so he could just shoot.
Nest ready to knock up.
Deploying sensor.
A breach charge has just been planted on one of these breachable surfaces. I don't know which, but I presumed it's the barricade because it's a common spot to breach, and there's a sofa in the way, so I don't know if there are feet or not. I don't remember it. I don't remember it even now as I'm playing this video. Either way, there's a breach charge planted on any of these two surfaces, so of course, being a teammate, I call it in, especially being a teammate who has 4 kills in comparison to 1 and 0s that my teammates have. There's a charge planted on the barricade. Shoot the barricade.
Ready! Blowing charge!
And of course, as I predicted, this is the moment where all my predictions about how this is gonna go downhill realizes. I knew that if we are not preventing the shield rifler combo on the entry, then they will basically completely surround us. They will have the means to kill us from positions we cannot defend ourselves from, and we're just gonna get wrecked. And ultimately this is what happened. Pulse is already down, Rook is already down. I was the first guy to go down, even though I'm the top fragger of this team. But I'm the top fragger just because I can shoot okay. And I have a little bit of game sense. But why is this happening? Why are people ignoring the calls? You have just created a hell for yourself. There's going to be a shield on the left side. There's at least one guy over there. There's at least Twitch over there, and soon we're gonna know that there's Twitch and Fuse already, as the Fuse rotated through the whole building up the stairs. So you're just gonna get wrecked. So I suggest you start listening to the calls.
Nest ready to knock up!
And this has showed to me that these guys, they have headphones, they have some kind of understanding, but they're extremely rookies. There's nothing wrong with being new in the game, but you have to realize that if you don't listen to calls, this is what happens with you. one guy. Second guy shooting. A grenade behind you, thermite breach behind you, and the third guy finishing you off.
Op 4 is securing the biohazard container. Intervene immediately. Biohazard
The room is already
container
under
securing
attack.
pods. Take out the
There's
hostiles.
thermite somewhere inside. There's Fuse roaming around. Blitz and Twitch are
Op 4
still
is
alive.
securing the container. Prevent further
Twitch
access
in the
to
trap,
the
Twitch
biohazard
down.
container. Stop the hostiles from securing the biohazard container.
The shield is around. Aha, she heard Fuse.
Mission failed. All friendlies have been neutralized.
And this is where it gets really ridiculous. So as I told to them, like I called him for help. You didn't do it. So now you just ultimately get wrecked. So now they asked, why shall we leave the objective room? And I can tell you now, you shall leave the objective room because first of all there should be at least one person roaming around, lurking around, flanking, making sure that Thermite cannot plant his brimstone charge on reinforced walls, and making sure that people are not disabling our jammers and traps, and that their backs will be exposed to the roamer so he can get easy kills by that. And also, you shouldn't just stack yourselves all together in the objective room, because the objective room is rather small for 4 of you. It's like putting a big fish with a school of smaller fish into a freaking 10-liter aquarium. It's just, why would you do that? Your fish are just gonna die. This is what happened with this team as well. We just all died for no reason, just because you decided that you need to can yourselves in the objective room. You had actually 3 rooms where you could spread out. You had the CEO office, you had the executive lounge, and you had the secretary room. If you wouldn't put the barricades in between those rooms and barricaded instead the whole area around it, you would have had, first of all, more space for yourself to work around, so you could hear more precisely where at which wall was a charge planted, so you can call it in, so you can react to it, so you can coordinate crossfire. And also you can set more traps and get more angles on your enemy if you spread out like this. But you canned yourself. You canned yourself, and you had to deal with Fuse, Ash, Twitch, Thermite, and Blitz. And this is what happened. So that's why you shall leave the freaking objective, because because you should realize at some point that it is too little space for you to defend. You need to spread the space a little bit. And also you should listen to the calls, especially if those are calls from the top fragger on your team, and the calls are done with a pretty good microphone. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope this has been entertaining in some sort, or at least a little bit educational. This was the Noobs Master. You have a good one. Stop the recording.